guys. Welcome. Thank you all. I apologize I'm a little late. I had to run to the potty and get my water. Sorry about the strange lighting. Usually when I do early morning lives like this, I got my sister-in-law here to keep an ear out for my kiddos. But she is out of town right now, so I'm in my room, y'all. But good morning. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Good morning, ladies. So today is going to be a bit of a sensitive topic for some. For me, I see it as something that we need to talk about. Many Christians shy away from it as they don't want to cause disruption. They don't want to cause XYZ. I don't know. But it's something that needs to be spoken about. It's something that we need to discuss. And I'm really hoping I can get some pro-choicers on today so we can actually talk about this. It's a live discussion. I don't want to call it debate because everybody hears the word debate and the first thing their brain goes to is, oh no. So it's not a debate. It's just a discussion. I want to tell what the Bible says. I want to get down to the details of it and really get into the nitty-gritty about abortion because that's what our topic is today. So let's first start with what God says about babies, about all of it. So we'll start off with Psalms 127:3. Behold, children are a gift from God. The fruit of the womb is a reward. You guys, that is God telling you if you are blessed with a child, He is rewarding you. He is giving you the opportunity to grow the next generation. He is entrusting you with a tiny child that you can mold into whatever you see fit. And hopefully you can lead them to God. That's what His goal and plan is. But He has given you that opportunity. He has given you that ability to actually go and take that child and make them what they grow up to be. Sometimes that's great. Sometimes that's not great. We all struggle. Parenting's not an easy thing. I'm not going to act like it is. It's hard sometimes. But He gives us that opportunity. And it's absolutely wonderful. It's a blessing. It's a reward. And there are those out there that wish that they could have a child, that long for a child. And for whatever reason, they haven't been able to. God hasn't given them a child of their own. And it could be because they need to ask Him and believe, or perhaps it's the fact that they are meant to adopt a child and give a child that has no home a home. There's always other options besides murdering your baby, because that's what abortion really is. Let's just break it down. Abortion is murder. Now, what else does the Bible say? And then we'll get into some facts about abortion. And then I'll go ahead and drop the link so everyone can join. And I really hope people do. So Psalms 139, 13, and 14. For you formed my inward parts. You wove me in my mother's womb. And I will give thanks for you. For I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Think about a baby. A baby grows in their mommy's tummy, right? Each of their little parts develop over time. Often a baby's compared to fruit, depending on what stage they're at. At no point in time can that baby experience the world for what it is without having some kind of fear. When we are born with two fears automatically, okay? We are born with the fear of light and the fear of sound. And that's just because we've been in this dark little bubble and we have no idea what's outside. All we know are the things that we hear. We can't see anything. It's just dark, and we can hear our mom. We can hear the people around us. We can hear our mom's heartbeat. And we rely on her for the nutrition that we get, for everything that we get. And people will say, a lot of pro-choicers will say, well, that's why a woman should be able to decide whether she keeps the baby or not, because that baby is relying on her body to get it through. But even after a baby's born, a baby's still relying on their mom to get them through. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and both of them rely on me to get them through the day. I have a 28-year-old husband, and let's be honest, he relies on me to get him through the day. Besides the stuff he can do, even stuff he can do, he still relies on me. Why is it okay to unalive a person inside of you, but not okay to unalive a person outside of you? It doesn't make sense. There should be no difference between one that is out and one that is in. All right, let's go ahead and look at another verse. Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. That means God personally knows each and every single one of us. He has taken time to form us in a specific way. There is nothing that God does that is incorrect. There's nothing that he makes mistakes on. Often people will say, well, God must have made a mistake with me. Why? Why do you think that? Because society has convinced you? Or they'll say, I was never meant to be pregnant. God made a mistake. No, he didn't. Do you know how many women I hear tell me that their babies are the ones that save their lives? That their children are the only reason that they are alive today? Sorry, you guys, I'm opening my notes over here. Why are we so quick to put a label on a human being that, one, never asked to be created, and two, has no choice in the matter whether they are able to come to full development or whether you just dispose of them like a piece of trash, a candy wrapper you're done with, a piece of food that you don't want to eat anymore? Because that's what we're doing to these babies. We're saying, you are no better than this trash that I throw away. And abortion clinics will make the woman feel like it's okay, that nothing is going to be different. Everything will be fine. It'll be great. It'll be dandy. It'll be so, you'll feel better once it's gone. You ladies, I went and asked all of my fellow women, both my friend group, my Facebook friends, all of them. I asked if anybody would be willing to share their, what is it called? Their stories with me. And if they would be willing to, sorry, you guys, I'm looking for my notes. I'm going to have to pull them up on my computer. If they would be willing to open up about their experience with abortions. And I had a couple ladies respond to me, and they said that I could use their stories. So I will go ahead and share one more verse, and then we'll get into their stories. And for their privacy, I won't be sharing any names. But their stories are heart-wrenching, to be honest. All right, so Matthew 19:14. But Jesus said, let the children come alone, and do not hinder them from coming to me, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. You guys, yes, Jesus is talking about children that are trying to come and listen to him preach. But the children can never hear him preach if they're never born. How can we expect a child to be able to hear the word of God if you won't even let the baby come out of your body? A baby can survive as early as 24 weeks. That's when they say it's viable, that you can give birth, that it will be able to survive. It can survive before then, but chances are very small and limited before. But at 24 weeks, okay, that's about a little over halfway through a pregnancy. A baby can survive. I actually seen a video. They did a time lapse. The baby was this teeny tiny little thing just fit in the palm of your hand. And you could see it grow over the next few weeks. The next, 22 weeks relatively? Maybe a little less. 18 weeks? 18 weeks. It was beautiful. And abortion it's not necessarily the easy way out, but that's what they make it seem like. They will pawn off abortion on women as though it's the best way for you to get rid of this baby. It's the best thing for you. It won't harm you in any way. It won't affect you in any way. The stories that I have, 2 stories that the ladies say I could share with everyone. And both of them said nobody prepared them for the after effects. Nobody prepared them for what it truly did to their psyche. It's so sad because we're telling women to unalive their children and that they will be fine. They'll just walk away and be dandy. Yeah, you'll have to recover for a little bit, but it's okay. You'll forget about it. It'll be okay. Don't worry about it. It's not. It's really, really not. Give me just a sec, you guys. I'm cold. It's been super hot, y'all. So I had to have the fan on. But now I'm chilly, so. Alright, let me go ahead and read the stories that these ladies shared with me, because they are something. So this one is actually a family member of mine. And again, I'm not going to give any names out of respect for them. But she said that when she was younger, her family was Roman Catholic. Her dad and her stepmom. And that's who she lived with. Her mom was, she was very into science. So different viewpoints right away, right? So for her, abortion was a moral sin. It condemned you to hell, okay? First off, it doesn't say that anywhere in the Bible. If you have an abortion, God doesn't hate you, okay? He doesn't not love you. He just wishes that you would have taken a different route. But if you ask for repentance, or if you ask for forgiveness, you repent, you truly turn away, He'll forgive you. Let me tell you that first and foremost. So for anyone out there, I also want to say this. For anyone out there who has had an abortion, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you went through that. I'm sorry you felt there was no other way out. I'm sorry for all of the things that came after. I'm sorry that there was nobody to support you and give you different options. And I'm sorry if somebody forced you into it. I'm sorry if religious people made you feel like you are a horrible person because of it. Most of all, I'm sorry for your loss. And we love you. Okay, so background knowledge. She was 17 when it happened. Her dad and her stepmother were Roman Catholic. Her stepmom was very abusive. She was constantly being abused at home, mentally, physically, drained financially whenever she had money from a job. It wasn't an ideal situation in her home. So when she found out that she was pregnant, she was scared. She found out right before prom. She was 17, so almost 18, could have left the house soon. Super excited for that. But she went to her dad and asked her dad if he could leave her stepmom because of the abuse that was going on. He said, yeah, we'll leave. We'll get out together. And she was so excited. Imagine being a child and you have the secret inside of you. You're trying to run from an abusive person. The person that you rely on the most says, yeah, let's do it. Let's get out. Great. So the next day she goes and she asks her dad, when are we leaving? And somehow he had changed his mind overnight. And he said, I'm not leaving her. We're not going anywhere. So she panicked. She contacted her mom. Her mom said, okay, we'll have you come visit me and you'll just stay with me. You're old enough. They can't really do anything. It's okay. Her father took her to court. At the age of 17, her father took her to court. And she was so scared that the judge would make her go back to her father's house, where not only she wasn't safe, but the baby inside of her wouldn't have been safe, especially if they had found out that she was pregnant because of the religion they were following, that she went to the abortion clinic and got an abortion. She had told her mom, and her mom told her she had two options, adoption or abortion. She couldn't live with the fact if somebody else had her baby, because in her head, the only kind of adoption was a closed adoption, that she would never see the child again. She wouldn't be part of the child's life, and it would just be that. Cut, simple, done. So she felt she had no way out except to unalive her child. And so she did. She told me that every day she thinks about this baby. She thinks about who it would have been. She thinks it was a boy. So who he would have been, who he would have grown up to be, how her life would have been different if she would have kept him. All of these thoughts go through her head daily. And you know what the abortion clinic told her before she did it? Don't worry, it won't affect you. It will be fine. She is now in her mid-30s, and she still thinks about this child. This happened when she was 17, you guys. And she still thinks about the baby to this day. She said that she didn't stop crying and grieving until she named the baby, which they didn't even tell her she could do at the abortion clinic. They didn't tell her that she could give the baby a name and mourn over the baby. They just did what they did and sent her on her way. Didn't provide any psychological help, didn't provide any medical help past that. They probably told her, relax for a couple days, you may bleed. But that was it. They didn't tell her about the psychological effect that losing her baby would have on her. That it was no better than the psychological effect that she would have had from giving her baby up for adoption. Because not only does she have to deal with the fact that she doesn't have her child, but she also has to deal with the fact that she doesn't have her child because of what she did. She said that she gained over 100 pounds because of the self-destruction, the self-condemnation that she put on herself. because of how crappy she felt afterwards. And we're out here telling people, it's fine. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's your best option. Your body, your choice. But we're not warning them about the things that come afterwards. And that was just one story, you guys. When I read it, my heart broke for her. I cried for her. It's so sad. And to know that these places are not even giving them any kind of warning before they do it. I'll read you the other story, ladies. Then we're doing some statistics, and then we'll get into what pro-choicers believe, right? And I really, really hope I can get a pro-choicer on here. I messaged some people that I know are pro-choice, so fingers crossed. Nobody knows the gritty truth about abortion unless they've experienced or looked up what a mother goes through. It's true, Yara. They really don't. Yeah, these, the late-term abortions are the worst. Ooh, have y'all ever watched an abortion? I want to show it on here because I don't know if YouTube will allow me to do that. But Google it. It's not a pretty sight. I know what you meant. All right, so my second story comes from a childhood friend. And let me tell you, you guys, when you think you know somebody, you don't know nothing. You don't know a darn thing. The things that happen behind closed doors. Oh. So this one's not as detailed, but it's still her story. She even told me, I'm sorry it's not much. And I was like, no, that is a wonderful and beautiful and sad story all in itself. So she was 15 years old. And she, hold on, sorry, you guys. I'm just making sure I have the details correct. So she was 15, and she didn't get to decide. This was a decision that her mom made for her because of her age. Otherwise, she says she would have kept her baby. Thankfully, now both of these women have beautiful families, and God has blessed them all over again. But my childhood friend, she said that her mom decided it, that her mom forced her into it. And she said there was two things that she remembers the most. One, with all the people outside protesting, telling her she's killing her baby, telling her that she's a horrible person, she's going to hell. That's not how we get these people to change their minds. Christians, I'm all for telling people that they need to be cautious and need to find God, that they're on the path to a horrible place. But we need to meet these people where they are. We don't need to be screaming in their face that they're horrible, that they're sinners, and we've all been sinners. That's why we need God. So let's think about our approach before we go out and approach it. Because this is a 15-year-old that has absolutely no choice whether or not she unalives her child. She has no choice to save her baby or not. And you're screaming at her as she walks into a clinic that she doesn't want to be at in the first place. Telling her that she's horrible, that she's disgusting. that she's all these things? Can we really call ourselves Christians if we act like that? Instead of trying to have a conversation with them one-on-one, warning them about the things that go on, and then afterwards telling them, hey, God still loves you. We can still find God together. Let's go into His Word. He can forgive you for this, but you got to turn away from it. Back to her story, you guys. She said the second thing that she remembers the most is the coldness of the table. The coldness of the metal underneath her. And she said that they inserted her with tools. She said thankfully it seemed like it went very quickly. And she believes that it was God shielding her from the length that it was. But to this day, she misses that baby. That was 15 years ago, at least. These women never forget the children that they unalive. So we gotta stop promoting it like it's the next best thing. We gotta stop acting like it's not going to affect them in the long run. We just gotta stop, you guys. Sorry, you guys. Let me get in here real quick, and I'm going to pull up some statistics for you guys. So let's go. Let me share my screen, y'all. All right. So let's go to everyone's favorite place to go for abortions. And why do I say that? Because Planned Parenthood does 40% of the United States abortions. 40%, you guys. That is nearly half of the abortions take place at a Planned Parenthood. This is a place that's supposed to assist in planning for a family. This is a place that's supposed to give preventatives, such as condoms, birth control, all that, right? That should be their main focus. Yet they perform 40% of unaliving babies. And as you can see here, annually, they perform 354,871 abortions annually. That's per year, y'all. That is ridiculous. And the sad thing is, that's only 40% of abortions. For every one adoption referral, so say a woman goes in there, she's preggy. For every one person that they refer to do the adoption route, or for every two people that they give prenatal services to, which means they check on the baby, they help them through the pregnancy, they do 97 abortions. For every one adoption, for every two actual patients that are pregnant. 97. That is ridiculous. You should be giving adoption as the first option. But the first option is always abortion. Now, many 26 weeks is around 6 months pregnant. Yeah. A woman. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, they can. There's some states that you can unalive your child as of 32 weeks. Yo, for full term pregnancy is 40 weeks. So yeah. Planned Parenthood is a horrible place. First off, it was founded by KKK members. Let's be honest. Anybody who says different, well, they don't know nothing. Oh, and it's so sad. So all the websites that I got, you guys, are websites that have nothing to do with religion. Okay, I made sure I went to websites that are not religious based at all. Okay, so I could present the facts for the facts and have nobody say, oh well, that's just the religious side. They manipulated the numbers to fit into their agenda. No, these are just numbers. Okay, all the numbers that I present to you are just straight out numbers. They are nothing to do with anybody having an agenda for God. Okay, they might have an agenda for abortion, but they don't have an agenda for God. Okay. Yeah, so I think I saved the website that gives me I have a map as well, you guys, that I want to show you. Okay, let me go to this next. And some of these that I show you guys, that's how it should be, Kat, on Alive and People. Some of these websites are like studies that have been done, so we'll just look at the results and conclusion. We won't go into detail, but if anybody wants the specific study, I can definitely give it to them. Just shoot me an email and I'll give it to you. So this is the Frontiers of Psychiatry. So this is a website that just publishes a lot of scientific research, and that's what their main objective is. So this was done with 100 teenagers seeking induced abortions who were randomly divided into two groups. Okay? The intervention group received intense psychological care, while the other group received standard routine nursing. Okay? So, let's see what it really does to the psyche. All right, the results are the following. The intervention group had a lower risk of developing PTSD, 24 versus 44%. So, let's say a lady does go through with abortion, right? She has no other way out. She sees no other option, so she does it. This study decided what happens to someone if we give them psychiatrical help versus if we just send them on the way, which is what they do. Okay. So 24% of them developed PTSD from getting the abortion, right? 10% of them developed depression, and 0% of them developed anxiety. Okay. Compared to the 44% who developed PTSD that were not given any psychiatric help, 32% of them developed depression, and 12% of them developed anxiety. Y'all, we're telling these women, unalive your child, you're fine, sending them on their way, just making sure their body is fine in the sense that they're not overbleeding, they're not hemorrhaging, they're not still pregnant. Because did you guys know sometimes abortions aren't 100%, that you could still be pregnant even after you've tried to have an abortion? Especially if you take the little pill that they give you. Because there's different forms of abortion. There's an invasive abortion where they shove it up and that, and then they just suck it all out. There's abortion where they go in and cut, depending on how like far along you are, is a different kind of abortion that they offer. And there's abortions that you can take a little pill and then it just in the potty. All of those sound horrible. Truly and honestly. They sound absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, there's an abortion where they try to kill the baby with chemicals. Yeah. They'll interject the fetus with chemicals to make the heart stop. It's kind of like euthanization with animals. And sometimes it doesn't happen. It doesn't work. And it's so sad and terrifying because these babies feel things, you guys. They are feeling things as early as 3 weeks. Their receptors are already connecting and develop. Y'all, just y'all. It makes me so sad. Really, truly does. All right, let's look at another study that was done. And I promise you guys we're going to get to where I invite people on. I just want to get the facts out there, and then we'll get to it. I'll actually go ahead and drop the link right now, just in case there's anyone who wants to hop on. So, any pro-choicers? Please, 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 please hop on. I'd love to discuss this with you. Pro-lifers are also welcome, but I really would love to discuss with a pro-choicer. All right, you guys. So, this is a study. Abortions after prenatal diagnosis of Down syndrome reduces Down syndrome community by 30%. I'm currently in a class that's called Lifespan, Psychology Through the Lifespan. So we're going from conception all the way to death, right? Our first assignment this week was to read an article about just this that was written in 2011. This, as we can see, was written in 2015. I went and tried to find one that was closer and further on. Same exact data, right? Same exact data. So, they say right here, how many babies prenatally diagnosed with Down syndrome are aborted in the United States each year? They don't know, but they are able to say that 90 to 92% of women who are told that their baby is most likely to have Down syndrome abort the baby. When I got pregnant my first time with my daughter, I remember, I think it was at 20 weeks, they offer you this blood test. And before it was very, very invasive. They used to shove a needle in there to get amniotic fluid, and it can mess up you and the baby. So the development and prenatal screenings, great, to be honest. The problem with it is, the first thing out of my OB's mouth after we agreed to the test was, if it comes back and there's any abnormalities, we can talk about your options. I looked at her, my husband looked at her, and we said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, many people decide to abort, and there's always that option. There's always option for adoption as well." What the confusion I felt when she told me this, I just looked at her and I didn't know what to say. And thankfully, I had a great OB because she giggled and she said, "I know. It feels weird saying it, but we have to." At no point in time should a child being different from what society considers normal be the reason that you unalive it. Just because it may be developmentally slower than other children its age doesn't mean that you unalive it. Why is the first thing we are telling parents after they agree to a screening that is supposed to help prepare them for the things their baby might have? Because it not only scans for Down syndrome, but it scans for any like sickle cell, um, possible autism genes, any kind of abnormality. Sorry, guys, I got like a goopy in my eye. That a baby might have, this scans for. It tells you if your baby is missing any chromosomes, if they have extra chromosomes, if their blood is a certain way, if anything that you could possibly think of, pretty much, this test scans for. This is also the exact same test that tells you whether you're having a boy or a girl, because they break it down and look at the chromosomes and the genoids. Why is the first thing we're telling parents, if something comes back different, we'll talk about your options? Your option is to keep carrying your baby. That should be your only option. It's just so infuriating, you guys. When my OB told me that, I was just like, what do you mean? And the second time, thankfully I had the same OB. She didn't even bother. She was just like, "Do you want to do the scan on this one too?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Okay." And that was that. She didn't offer the stupid remark of, "We'll discuss your options. If this baby happens to be inconvenient because of how it's developing, we'll discuss if you should keep it." Excuse me? That baby didn't ask to be here. That baby didn't ask for that abnormality. Don't be selfish. A lot of pro-choicers will be like, "Oh, that's so wrong. They're not being selfish. How dare you?" What else do you call it? You are choosing to take a life that's not yours because it's an inconvenience. Now, a lot of pro-choicers will be like, "Well, what about people who are raped or people who are, it's incest, or," right? All of those things. All of those things. Okay? So here is an article, and this one was written, I believe this one was written sooner, or yeah, it's more recent. I try to get recent articles, that way it's current information, right? So this is Medical News Today, January of this year, okay? Why families planning options are available in the abortion restricted states, right? So, scroll down. Sorry, all the stupid pop-ups. Sorry, I gotta scroll down back to it. Scrolling. It tells you can go to other states and everything to get abortions. It tells you how to recover after abortions, mental health help, blah, blah, blah. Right? Where is it? I just had it. Where is it? Y'all, why can't I find where it was? I'm about to reopen it so that it takes me back to where I was. Okay, here. Why do people have late-term abortions, right? So late term is considered anywhere between 28 weeks and onward, right? Second term is 14 weeks to 27 weeks. That's generally when people have abortions, right? Anywhere in this range or before. This range is getting iffy, okay? According to the CDC, around 5.8 reported abortions took place from 14 to 20 weeks. You're only pregnant for 40 weeks, y'all. Unless you're my children and you decide to stay a whole extra week and I gotta force you up. But typically, it's within those first weeks. 0.9% occur after 21 weeks. The baby is already the size, I think it's the size of a cantaloupe. Hold on, let me Google to double check, y'all. 20 weeks. What size is your baby? The size of a banana. Okay, that's what it says for 20 weeks. A banana, you guys. You have a baby that's the size of a banana inside you, and you just decide, let's get rid of it. 21 weeks is the size of a carrot. So it went from a banana to a carrot in 1 week, right? By 28 weeks, you're the size of a watermelon. I always used to hate when they compared me to fruit because I'm like, can we not? Can we not? You're making me hungry. But you're taking away a life as something that is the size. It's not like it's a teeny tiny thing anymore that you could just smush. It has grown. It has brain development. It has, look at all that fruit looking good over there, yar. It has emotions. It has so many things. And you just decide, I'm done. I don't want it. It's fine. And it's so sad. Oh my gosh. It's just so sad. Let me find, that's not the article with all the statistics that I wanted. Give me just a sec, ladies. Let me find my other article. Did you guys also know that in what was it? Iceland. That, oh my gosh, it was insane. In Iceland, I don't have the article that I was looking for. I think I just took notes on it. If your baby is diagnosed with autism in the fetus, there is 100% ratio that it will be unalived. They unalive 100% of babies that come back with abnormality. How sad is that? You guys. All right. So, some other data that I found on abortions. I don't understand how people say it's just a fetus, so we're out here having fetus showers. I'm saying, Kat, it's a fetus shower. That's funny. It's a feed us shower is what it is. Because that baby's saying, feed me! Sorry, y'all. I'll come in your life, but I won't be available for a hot minute cooking, baby. That's fine, girly girl. I'm gonna be on for a second. I let the tiny people stay up kind of late last night, just because I knew I would be doing this live and there'd be nobody to help me with them. So, mommy took it to her advantage because they'll sleep a little longer than normal, which makes me happy because I can do this. And I'm really hoping I can get some people on. Fingers crossed. So let me finish sharing statistics and then hopefully some people come on. So as of 2022, there were a total of 613,383 abortions that took place legally, right? So these are just legal abortions, you guys. How many more are illegal and don't get reported because either they live in a state that doesn't support it or they did it in some back alley that's terrifying and they might have died from it? 613,000. You guys. That's over 500,000. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm getting to that point next, kitty cat. Don't worry. I already was going there. All right. So, oftentimes people will say, oh, it's the young getting abortions or it's the old getting abortions and blah, blah, blah. Okay, right? Women in their 20s accounted for more than half of abortions, 56% to be specific. People that were 15 and younger only accounted for 0.02 of the abortions, and women 40 years or older were 3.6. So, it is capable people who are getting these abortions because it's an inconvenience for their life. And if there's any pro-choicers out there and you're saying, that's not true, it's because of this, and this. All right, so let's look at statistics. Start with the number one that they love to bring up. People have abortions because they were raped. 1% of abortions come from rape victims. 1%. 0.5% are due to incest. 12% are due to other reasons, such as medical or psychological, drug abuse, things like that, right? So, with just those percentages, right? Let's do some math, y'all. Let's do math. I love math. I also love that when I was younger, they told me I'd never have a calculator right next to me, and I got a calculator in my pocket every day. So, out of the 613,383 abortions that took place, right? 1% of those were sorry, my brain's being slow. 1% of those were due to rape, right? That's 6,133 abortions. Compared to the and 13,000. That's still a very large number, don't get me wrong. But in comparison, no. All right, so let's look at incest, right? Because that's our next favorite thing. Well, what if it's a child of incest? That is 3,000 abortions for incest compared to 613,000. Okay? And let's say the 12% for other reasons, right? So that is 73,000 abortions. That's not even half put together, you guys. And those are the number one reasons that pro-choicers will say people have abortions for. But it's not. We can clearly see by the data. 1%, 0.5%, and 12%. Now, do you want to know what the number one reason for abortions are? Because people feel like they can't financially afford a baby. They're just not financially stable enough. You were financially stable enough to lay there, not use any kind of protection, preventative. You allowed the incident to happen. Why wouldn't you think about your finances then? There are many government programs that will assist you. WIC, food stamps, housing. And often people are like, oh, well, those are super hard to get. No, they're not. They're really not. You can stay on WIC until your child's 5. That provides you milk, eggs, fruit, formula. It even provides you things whilst you're pregnant. How do I know? Because I've been on it. Food stamps. They will provide you with X amount of money based on how many children you have, what your income is. Housing. You can get housing that you only pay a certain amount based on your income. The biggest thing is if you just keep your family together, right? So society has convinced men and women that the nuclear family is a horrible idea. That the father, the mother, and children should not all be together. The government, by providing these programs, have broken down the nuclear family, to be honest, because you can get more benefits by not having a husband than you can by having a husband. How sad is that? See, our government isn't always for us, you guys. Sometimes they're often against us. We're just too blind to see it. If we can keep the family together, the father and the mother provide, the children are taken care of. You don't have to worry about not being financially stable. Am I saying that you'll have all the luxuries in the world? No. But when you have a tiny person inside of you that didn't ask to be there in the first place, sacrifices are necessary. And that sacrifice should never be their life. That should never be the sacrifice. But let's say you can't, no matter what you cut out, no matter whatever, right? You can't afford the baby. Well, you ever heard of adoption? You can have an open adoption where you're a part of the baby's life. Or you can have a closed adoption where you never have to think about the baby again. But you will. Just because it's part of you. There are so many families out there that want children, but for whatever reason, they haven't been given them. That's a perfect opportunity. You can even go through the paperwork and find people that you like while you are pregnant. It doesn't have to happen after, where the baby goes into foster care and all these things. It can happen while you are pregnant. You can find a family that you think is good for your baby. And then bless that family. And if you don't want children, there are options for that too. Men, vasectomies, snip it. Women, you have birth control. You have these little insert thingies. UDIs, I think they are. IDUs. I don't know what they're called. It's letters. If you really want to be crazy and just say, I never want children, you could get your tubes tied. You could get your tubes removed. There's lots of options, okay? Children are blessings from the Lord. So he wants to give you children. He put us on this planet to be fruitful and multiply, okay? If you take away the blessing that he gave you, what does he expect you to do with the next one? Women who have abortions early on because it's an inconvenience, they often struggle to get pregnant again, right? And that's for multiple reasons. One, what happens if you unalive it again? Why does God want to keep giving you blessings if you just keep rejecting them? Because that's what you do when you have an abortion. You reject his blessing. Right? 2, did you know abortions affect your body? They affect your internal body. You're cutting up pieces of you inside. You're sucking them out. You're taking hormones that block, chemicals that burn. You think it has no effect on your body? It's just the baby? I'm sorry, the fetus? No, it affects you too. Did you guys know? And when I found this out, I was like, what? What? When you are pregnant, the DNA from the father, okay, so let's break this down first, just in case anybody doesn't understand how babies work. When you have an egg and a sperm, there are 23 chromosomes in each, right? They come together to conduct 23 pairs of chromosomes, aka your DNA, right? Since you get the chromosomes from your husband or the father, those enter into your bloodstream because you share the same blood with your baby. That's how it all moves around. That's how your baby gets stuff, right? Those chromosomes affect you. Did you know that? I have curly hair, right? When I was little, I had super duper curly hair, like Curly Sue curls. They were so cute. I loved them. Over time, yeah, I straightened them and everything, but I still had them. After I got pregnant, my hair slowly seemed to lose its curls. And I just thought it's because I had straightened it so much. I bleached it one time. I was like, I gotta get back my curls. I miss them. I come to find out, because my husband has super straight hair, his DNA may have affected my DNA. How rude. But if his DNA can affect my DNA just because it formed a person inside, what do you think those chemicals that you're putting into that baby are doing to your insides as well? Because your blood is still flowing through, as all those things are happening to that baby, as they mutilate that baby to suck it out of you. They're just wiggling around up in there. So you don't think they're cutting you at all? Why do you think you bleed afterwards? It's not just from the baby. They get you too. People get infections after abortions. Some women become infertile completely. Did you know that? Abortions are a very, very dangerous thing. They are so dangerous, it's not even funny. It's really not. It's terrifying, to be honest. So besides the 40% of abortions that are done because of financial reasons, 36% of them are done because of timing. I need to have a career. I'm not ready for a family yet. We're just not ready to settle down. Selfish. All I heard was me, me, me. I. What about the baby? It didn't ask for you to do what you did. It didn't ask for the nastiness to happen, but you decided it should happen, and you decided that there should be no kind of contraception, no condom, no birth control, no nothing. Or how about the fact, if you're not ready, just don't have sex? I know it's such a far out concept. Don't have sex until marriage and until you think you're financially ready. Wow. What an old thought. The sad thing is, that old thought is where we should have stayed. We think that improving and... Sorry, y'all. There's bees that be trying to get inside my windows. And one of my window screens broke the other day. So I gotta be hyper vigilant. And I just heard one. So I was like, which window are you at? If you're not ready, don't have sex. Or have sex and be prepared. There are ways to prevent this. But instead, your option is, I'll just unalive the baby. Or here's another option that people love to run to. And it's often given to young girls, right? Young ladies often do this. Oh, it's okay. I'll just take the morning after pill. Plan B, right? And the sad thing is that the young ladies that are taking this, they're getting advice from older women that recommend this. Or they're going to clinics and they're asking, what can I do? I'm scared. And they're giving them this, right? So I did some research on Plan B. What are the side effects of Plan B? Well, first off, when I Googled what are the side effects of Plan B, it was very easy to find the short-term side effects, the I warn you about this side effects, but then there were the long-term side effects, and they put the easy ones, but then the scary ones they just listed as health concerns. So then I try to look up, well, what are the long-term health concerns? And all of a sudden, all of the things kept saying, oh, there are no long-term health concerns. Then why does it show it when you ask what are the health or what are the side effects? So I had to do some deep dive looking. And the only way I got what can truly happen long term was by looking up the little pamphlet that comes inside the box, right? That was the only way. And it was super hard to find one of those because every picture, somehow miraculously, even though people have great cameras nowadays, were super blurry and you couldn't read it, right? But I finally found one that I was able to zoom into and read all the little things. So, these are the following health concerns that Plan B warned you about, but nobody reads because the pharmacist told them, it's okay. Short-term effects. Hormonal imbalance. Listen, as a teenager, a young adult, even in my 30s now, I already got enough hormonal problems. I don't need to add any problems, okay? Number 2, it has a high dose of, I was supposed to Google this word, you guys, and I forgot. Levonorgestrel. Levonorgestrel. I don't know. It's what's in birth control, you guys. It's the hormone blocker that keeps you from ovulating. There are very high doses of those in Plan B. So if you're popping a Plan B pill every other day or every other week or every other month, you're setting yourself up for infertility. But they don't tell you that. That's not how they phrase it. They make sure they use a word that you don't understand, that you can't pronounce, that you won't bother to look up. The only thing that makes me a bit upset is the difficult extent. Oh yeah, it's ridiculous how. That's the other thing. A lot of people feel, but it's still possible. Adoption should be much easier in the sense of affordability. I understand that, and I'll get back to this real quick. I understand that you need to make sure the place that the baby is going to, they can financially support the child and that they are okay. But at no point in time should the agencies that are organizing the adoption get paid these large sums of money that they do. It is absolutely ridiculous. Back to the side effects of Plan B. Irregular menstruation. So you go from having this normal every month period to weird sporadic periods that come and go whenever they please. Why? Because you've messed with your hormones. You've put ovulation blockers in you. And yeah, a lot of these are the exact same side effects that happen when you take birth control. All right. Delayed periods or skipped periods. Random bleeding. Why are you just randomly bleeding? No medicine should make you that is a warning sign on most medicines. Most medicines say, if you randomly bleed, seek medical attention. Plan B says, if you randomly bleed, it's okay. Now, let's keep going. Increased risk of STDs. It's called STI now, you guys. I was so confused when I read STI. So I wrote STD because I know what that is. For those of you that are like, what's an STI or STD? STIs are sexually transmitted infections. STDs, sexually transmitted diseases. AKA herpes, gonorrhea, clap, HIV, all that fun stuff, guys. So it doesn't prevent that. But it says an increased risk. So why would a pill that's supposed to stop you from getting pregnant, increase your risk of sexually transmitted diseases. Oh, right. It's because it gives you this thought that you can just go out and sleep with whoever you want with nothing. Like, no worries. You just putting everybody inside you and la 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 la. Yay! No. No. This ain't an in and out. It's not a drive through. Stop acting like it is, ladies. Okay. Finally getting to the long term. After I searched for like 30 minutes, you guys. Literally, it took me the longest to be able to find these. These are the long-term effects of Plan B, aka the morning after pill. Fertility issues, as it causes menstrual cycles to be erratic. May cause ectopic pregnancies. For those of you who don't know what ectopic pregnancies are, is the pregnancy that's anywhere outside of your uterus, whether it be in your liver, your kidney, your ovarian tube, not ovarian, fallopian, anywhere that's not your uterus. So this pill can cause that. Can cause hemorrhaging in your vagina or your uterus. Isn't that great? Yeah, so if you're bleeding randomly, don't worry. But you also may need to be worried because it might be a hemorrhage that this pill caused. You guys, abortion is never the option, okay? I understand that babies are hard. And I understand sometimes you put yourself in a situation that you should have never been in the first place. I get that. But there are other options. There's always other options. And I want to open up the floor for anyone that wants to hop on, especially if you're a pro-lifer, a pro-choicer. Please, please, please hop on. I want to hear your thoughts. Sorry, you guys. I'm checking on my tiny people real quick. For those of you that are like, how are you checking on them? I still see you. I'm a weirdo. I got a camera in the room. Ignore me. I'm a weird mom. I don't care. But if anyone wants to hop on, pro-choice, pro-life, you are more than welcome to. I'd love to discuss with a pro-choicer their viewpoints on all the statistics I just laid out and why they believe that somebody should have control over somebody else's body. And going back to Kitty Cat's point, let me scroll up to her comment before I forget, because I do want to point that out. Where did your thingy go, Kitty Cat? Probably scrolled right past it. Bam, here it is. When somebody kills a woman that is pregnant, they are charged with a double homicide, which means they killed two people, right? But when we unalive a baby, nobody's charged with murder, right? Not the doctor that performed the procedure, not the lady who asked for the procedure. Nobody. But if somebody shoots, stabs, hits somebody with a car, drowns, any kind of way you could think of murder, right? Unaliving somebody. They are charged with 2 accounts of it, right? It's a double murder, double unaliving. And it doesn't matter how far along the woman is, because I Googled it. I looked it up. I needed all the information, okay? I was like, is there a number of weeks the woman has to be before it's considered a double homicide? And the answer is no. So why in the world are we saying it's okay to unalive your own baby just because it's in your body? But if somebody else unalives you and your baby, they got double murder on them. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. There are people charged with double homicide, but when it comes to abortion, it's authority. The mother gave the doctor. Yeah, exactly. And my other thing is, a lot of these mothers are making this decision on their own. They're not consulting with the father of the child. And the father of the child can't stop a mother from getting an abortion. Why? Why? Just why? Plain and simple. Why is it okay for a woman to decide to unalive a baby, but a man can't decide that? And he also can't decide to stop it. Half of that DNA is his. 23 of those chromosomes that connect together are his. They came from him. And also, for anybody that's like, the abnormalities, well, that's a reason. What if they can't support the child? What if they can't mentally do it? Did you know if you just take care of yourself, your chances for abnormalities go from here to way down here? If you eat healthy, if you exercise regularly, if you just take care of yourself, if you're not sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Jenny around, you actually are more likely to produce healthy children. Now, let's say your family has whatever disease in them, right? Diabetes, sickle cell, anything like that, right? If both of you have the gene for it, yes, your child most likely will. But if one of you has the gene for it, it is a 25% chance that your child will get it. Did nobody pay attention to biology? Does nobody listen to how genes are put together and what causes genes to be dominant or non-dominant? Because last time I checked, this is biology 7th grade, I think. I think it's even before then. I want to say it's like 3rd grade, where you go through and you put together like why you have blue eyes, why that person has brown hair. And they put the little square table and they put the letters and you connect the letters. Did no one listen to that? Because that's how we get things. That's how features are developed. That's how diseases transfer from mother and father to child. That's why sometimes it skips a generation, because that person's generation, one parent didn't have the gene, but when the following generation gets with person, that person has the gene. Like, does nobody pay attention to biology? Also, if you did, you would have found out that at conception is when a life starts. Everybody wants to say life don't start. Oh, I wish I could get a dude to talk about how abortion did. Oh, I wish, Kitty Cat. It's just so sad, you guys. And I hope somebody that's struggling with whether they should have an abortion or not. Oh, give me 5 seconds, you guys. I gotta go see what's going on upstairs. Give me just a minute. I apologize. My bad, Jill. My bad. My uncle's upstairs and his TV's being weird, so I told him I'll just reset it for him. But I keep grabbing my husband's mouth, Jill. Unaliving the baby should never be the option. We need to give women different options. We need to make those other options accessible for everyone. We need to make it where when we say there's more options, abortion is the very last one. And it's not talked about unless it's mentioned by the patient. Let me find the map real quick of the states that allow and don't allow abortion. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. I thought I saved it yesterday, but I didn't. Sorry, you guys. Do, 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 do. Do, do. Do, 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 do. Where is the state by state guide? I think it is. There's a whole abortion finder website, you guys. How weird is that? How weird. Why can't I find the map? I'm so mad that I didn't save it, you guys. So mad. Because I was like, this will be great. And then my stupid self didn't save it. Okay, I guess this one will have to suffice. It will have to suffice. Share screen. Alright. So, this was done in May of this year, okay? The weird green color is where it's legal. The orange color is where it's legal from 6 to 18 weeks. And the red-orange color is where it's banned. We can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 states that banned abortion still. That still have it banned. How sad is that? There are 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 states that say you can only get an abortion between 6 to 18 weeks. And the rest of the crappy states, unfortunately I live in one, say, it's okay, unalive your baby today. How sad. There should be all either this light orange or the red orange. I mean, let's be honest, the light orange shouldn't exist either. It should all just be banned. Because it's murder. And no one can... Even when I was listening to the stories from the ladies that sent them to me, my heart broke for them because they felt they had no other option or they were forced. And the ones that said like they would rather their stories not be shared, which I don't mind, I understand. They felt the same way. They felt there was no other choice but to unalive their baby. That should never be the fact. It's just so sad. And I forgot I was streaming on Facebook, y'all. My brain be forgetting everything. So let's go to Facebook real quick and see if I got any comments up in there on my live. I forgot I was streaming on Facebook. As you guys hear, silly. No, of course not. But that's okay. I would love, if anybody wants to join, to come on up. If not, I'm probably going to end the live here in just a little bit. I gotta get the kiddos up. It's getting late. Need to feed them and stuff. But I was really hoping I would get at least one pro-choicer on today. But that's okay. I hope that this live reaches somebody who's struggling with abortion or no abortion. And they see from all the statistics, all of the things that they just don't tell you, that they decide no abortion. That's what I really, really hope. Because everybody deserves a chance at life. If I can't unalive my children because I can't financially support them at the ages they're at, why can I unalive a baby? If I can't decide, well, this is an inconvenience, and unalive somebody with a mental disorder, a chromosome disorder, after they are out of the womb, why can I do it in the womb? If it's murder for somebody that kills a pregnant woman, double homicide, 2 murders, why is it not murder for a woman to kill her baby? These are double standards that need to be done away with. God gave you that baby for a reason. Maybe it was to help you. Maybe it was to help their father. Maybe it's just so that baby could have a chance at life. My husband grew up so much after our babies were born. And he's such a different person now, and I thank God every day for it. But that's what he needed, was the babies. I'm a different person. And I needed my babies. Everyone that goes and unalives their baby, they're denying a blessing from the Lord. They're telling God, you made a mistake. I can't do it. I don't trust you. They're also saying to the baby, you're not worth it. Now, for those women who are forced, who have no choice in the matter, especially the young women, I'm sorry. You should never be forced to get rid of your child in any fashion. Keep families together. Don't lay down with somebody if you're not ready for the consequences that come afterward. Bye, girly girl. I love you. Get some rest. If you're not willing to take care of the child that comes from you deciding to sleep with whoever you decided to, don't do it. We really need to get back to that. Let's stop promoting sex with everybody around you as a great thing. Let's stop promoting unprotected sex altogether, unless you're married. And let's make marriage and families the priority again. Stop telling people, especially women, that they need to sacrifice their family so they can have a career. Stop telling women to unalive their babies because it's inconvenient for them. And they'll be okay afterwards, because they're not. They're having mental struggles. They're hurting themselves. They never get past the baby they lost. Give them different options. Make programs that will assist them to grow a better future for their children. Don't just hand it to them. Teach them how to earn it. Teach them how to do things. Make the nuclear family great again, where a father and a mother are there, where the children are taken care of by both mom and dad. Make it where mom and dad can work if need be, both of them, and there's affordable childcare. Safe, affordable childcare. Or make it where we can live on one income again. These are the things we should be focusing on, not making abortion more open, making abortion more available. Stop killing the babies and find ways to protect them. Why are their human rights not protected? Why do they have to be out of the womb to be considered for human rights? I know the answer to this. I wanted to ask, does Jesus forgive mothers who have committed abortions? But I wanted to ask you. Oh, yeah, Jesus. Okay, so if you have had an abortion, God doesn't hate you. Okay? He's sad for you. If you have multiple abortions, he might be questioning you. And it might take him a while to bless you again. But he doesn't hate you. And if you ask for forgiveness, he'll give it. If you turn your life around and decide to honor the blessing that is given to you, he'll forgive you. He doesn't hate you just because of what you did. If that was the case, he'd hate all of us. Because no sin is greater than another to him. Just because you unlived your baby doesn't mean you're going to hell. Well, I hear my tiny girl getting up, y'all. So I'm going to have to wrap this up. Jesus loves you, and he wants what's best for you. He gave you that baby for a reason. If for whatever reason you decided to take it into your own hands and get rid of that baby, he can and will forgive you. How would you guide a person watching this video how to repent from an abortion and ask for forgiveness and receive Jesus? Great question, Yari. So first and foremost, read your Bible. If you don't own a Bible, there's Bible apps. You can buy a Bible. Most churches will give you a Bible if you go and ask them. Just be very careful where you go. But get a Bible, okay? Start there. Start reading. And once you start reading, you'll start learning who Jesus is, who God is. Give me a second, stink bug. Then start talking to him. While you're learning the Bible, don't sit here and be like, oh, I got to read the whole Bible before I can start talking to Jesus. No. Buy a Bible because that's the foundation of him talking to us. That's the first place he'll talk to us through. But start talking to him. Start praying. Start telling him, I'm sorry. Forgive me. I had no other option. I felt I had no other way. I was forced. It seemed like the easy thing. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. And then decide that you won't do it again. That even if you're in a position where you feel like you can't afford it, you feel like you don't know if you can do it mentally, you're not prepared, decide to take those fears and give them to God. Tell him, okay, you gave me another blessing. I see that. But this time is going to be different. This time, all those fears that I have, I'm giving to you, and I'm trusting that you'll help me with it. Because that's what repentance is. It's taking what you've done before, saying, forgive me, and then when that situation comes again, you say, no, I won't be the same person I was. I won't do the same thing I did. And by doing that, God forgives you. He sees you, and he knows you, and he'll forgive you. And then keep reading your Bible, and he'll lead you to the next step. God doesn't expect you to come to him perfect, ever. Because if that was the case, well, we'd all be SOL. The beauty of God is he meets you where you are. He finds you in your nothingness. He finds you in that low spot that everybody else abandoned you at. And he sees you. And he wants to help you. But he's not forceful. He will wait until you ask him to help. He will wait until you give him permission to come into your life and start changing things. So just ask. I was always taught, always ask, because the worst thing that could happen is they say no. Yeah, my book?
Can you help me?
Yeah, give me just a sec, book. Stay right there. Hold on. But my blessing just got up, y'all. So I gotta go and be a mom. Because it's beautiful to be a mom. And let me reiterate, if there is anyone out there who is struggling with whether or not to have an abortion, please don't. It'll affect you physically and mentally. There are other options. Seek out any kind of help you can, whether it's from family, friends, or a stranger. Go and seek out those other options because God will help you. He tells us, seek and we shall find. That's not just in reference to him. It's also in reference for things that we are needing, things that we are asking for. Ask him and he will provide you a different option. I promise. And for anyone who has already gone through with an abortion, you're not alone. God doesn't hate you. You're not going to hell just because of that. Find God. Read your Bible. Help him. Hey, Brett. I'm super excited that you made it, but I'm about to hop off. My bad. God will meet you where you are, but you have to open the door for him. And he will give you so many options if you just ask. Unaliving your child is never the right option. If you need help, email me personally. I don't care where you are. I will figure out some way to assist you. There are people out there who will do everything in their power to help you not unalive your baby, because they know it's a gift from God. Seek those people out.
Mama.
And know that you are loved no matter what. If you chose to have one or not, God loves you and he wants you. You just have to ask and want him. I really hope that there's someone out there that this helps. And why I wish I could have had a pro-choicer on here. Maybe it's better. I love you too, my little bug. That's my little blessing, one of them. And she changed my life. And I could not. I could use a winning lotto ticket for bills too. I'm saying, Brett. I'm saying. I would never change having her. There are days that I wish I could run away. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, I'd always come back. Because children are the purest form of love. And the closest form of love that we can get to God physically on this planet that aren't him. So don't unalive your baby. Reach out. Seek help. There are so many other options. I hope all of you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I really hope this helps at least one person. I will catch y'all next time. Love yous.